Economic statecraft is the set of tools that governments use to pressure one another in response to conduct that they don't like or they want to change, but specifically economic tools. So whether that's aid and assistance or closing off banking access, trade access, that whole suite of tools of economic pressure. I think governments are reaching for the whole array of economic tools more and more often, in part because they occupy this space in terms of statecraft where there aren't a lot of other options. By which I mean, if you've pursued diplomacy and you've hit a dead end, you feel like all of your diplomatic actions options are not resolving the situation, and you don't want to go all the way to the other end of the spectrum towards military tools, what is there in that vast middle? And the truth is, there isn't so much aside from covert action and economic statecraft. And economic statecraft is being turned to as a result more and more often, for good and for bad, by governments around the world. One of the reasons I'm excited to be teaching a class on this at SAIS is there aren't many classes on economic statecraft being taught at schools of international relations, and I think it's a critical part of what students are going to be facing, whether they're becoming diplomats, law enforcement, intelligence, or going into other parts of government like the economic branches. As they go off into their careers, there's no question they're going to be coming into contact with sanctions and other tools of economic statecraft. To really understand this field, you don't have to be an expert in finance or even in economics. There's a lot of common sense to it. It's about figuring out what behavior are you trying to change, and then looking at asymmetries, which is something true across strategic studies. Where do you have leverage, and where does the target state depend on that? Where do they have dependencies? And focusing on asymmetries is often the best way to apply constructive pressure.